What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we're here today with the review for The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 16, Episode 7, guys. The episode was titled Wild Cards. I heard you guys, so this episode, nothing much really happened in it. It was pretty much fillerish. So this video really is not going to be that long, you guys. But before we do jump into review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on my channel and are not yet subscribed, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me a favor by liking the video, you guys, turning your notifications on, sharing the video, and with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let us discuss Real Housewives of Orange County, you guys. All right, you guys, so before we go ahead and jump into Orange County, I do want to say, I was thinking about doing a separate video this week to discuss the situation with Jenny from Salt Lake City and the situation with Portia. But what we're gonna do, I was thinking about doing a trending topics video, but I don't think I'm going to do a trending topics video. I feel like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna discuss that stuff in hot topics. Just do a housewife segment, because I got a lot of stuff to say about Jenny and I got a lot of stuff to say about Portia. Portia. But hey, yeah. So let's go ahead and just jump into this episode. So this episode, the ladies are getting ready to go to Cabo, right? You guys remember that Heather wants to get a house out there since they vacation in Cabo frequently, right? So then we first see Emily. So Emily is meeting up with Nicole and with Jen, right? So Emily is shopping for a bathing suit for the trip to Cabo. I will say though that the bathing suits that Emily tried on, she looks damn good, right? Emily looks good. Nicole, I have a huge issue with Nicole. I think Nicole is fake. I think Nicole is phony. And I think Nicole is full of shit, right? Because here's my thing with Nicole. So Nicole now wants to go to each and every woman and basically badmouth Noella to the women, right? So it's like, what has Noella done to you that you feel the need to go back to the women and say, oh, well, Noella said this about you? Because you guys know she started with Heather. Noella called Heather a fake, phony bitch, right? Now she's saying that, you know, we'll talk about that later, but she just doesn't like the fact that Noella's talking about the ladies. But here's my thing with Nicole, right? Like I said, Nicole is fake and phony. Because if you feel some type of way about what Noella is saying about the women, right? Why not nip it in the bud right then and there? If you feel some type of way about, if you really felt some type of way about that situation, when Noella was calling Heather a fake, phony bitch, you should have said, hey, that's my friend. Don't talk about my friend like that. You know, you might not like her, but that is my friend, and I would respect it if, when we're together, you don't talk shit about my friend. But she didn't do that, did she? Exactly. She's fake as fuck. And I'm glad that Emily is kind of looking at her sideways like, you know, really? Like you're trying to get me against Noelle. At this point, is that what we're doing? That's exactly what she's doing. And I see right through her. She's full of shit, right? Like you're supposed to be Noella's friend. But even just think about it, you guys. The shit that she's saying about Noella is the same shit you're doing to Noella, right? You're saying that Noella's talking shit about the women to you, but then you're going behind Noella's back and talking negatively about her to the other women. So it's the same thing. So pot, meat kettle. You know, when with Nicole, I just want her to go somewhere. Her and them jacked up ass eyebrows and that Miss Piggy makeup gotta go. So we're gonna move forward, you guys. Yeah, this was a filler episode if I didn't see one, because we got two scenes we got a scene with Shannon and we got a scene with Noella. I'm not gonna talk about that scene with Noella, but the scene with Shannon, it wasn't shit to this scene. We see Shannon is packing for the trip to Cabo, right? And she's on the phone with John, right? So not Heather, but Shannon hasn't saw any of the women since they last were at Emily's place to celebrate Shane passing the bar, right? And you guys remember how that ended with Heather making that threat toward her, which If I was Shannon, I would have nothing to do with Heather. I'm just keeping it real with you guys. There's nothing Heather Dubrow could say to me. Like, if I'm apologizing to you and you come at me with a threat that you said was a promise, that if I come after your family again, I will lose more than just your friendship. What you gonna do? Like, Shannon is better than me because I would have challenged Heather. I would have said, okay, you said I'm gonna lose more than just your friendship. Then what the hell am I actually gonna lose? Like, what you gonna do to me? You gonna sick somebody on me? Like, what you gonna do? Like, I would have challenged Heather, but Shannon didn't, right? And it's been about 2 weeks. So this has been 2 weeks since she saw them. So she just doesn't know necessarily what to expect. It is what it is, right? So we're going to move over and we're going to talk about Heather and include the Cabo trip. So we see Heather and she has Gina over to her crib, right? So Gina has come over to the house because, like I said, all the ladies are getting ready to head to Cabo. Now you guys remember, Heather had not invited Noella on the trip, right? So Gina's coming over because she just wants for Heather to, and extend the invite to Noella, right? Yes, I know that you and Noella have your issues with each other right now, and more specifically, it's just Heather who has issues. Well, I guess they both have issues with each other, right? So Gina is like, Noella's going through a lot right now, and I think it might be good and beneficial for her to, get away from what she's going through in her personal life and just come and hang out and have fun with this. So, Heather said, I invited her to Max's party, and I didn't really talk to her at Max's party. And, she presented Max with the gift, right? And she said, the gift was a very questionable gift. So what it was it was a Pride themed card game, right? And basically it sounded very sexual, like lick that pussy, get your nipples sucked, stuff like that, right? I think there was even one in there with Heather's name on it. Everything that Heather said, they bleeped it out. But some of them I can make out what she was saying, and some of it I couldn't make out what she was saying. And Heather's whole thing is the fact that Max is 17, right? And okay, I get that, right? Max is 17. So do you think Max is not having sex at 17? Do you think Max is not, like today's kids? I think these kids today know a lot more than what my 30-year-old ass know, right? Because I mean, you look on social media and the things that the kids say, I'm like, oh wow, I wasn't talking like that. I wasn't doing things like that. Actually, at 17, I was still a virgin, so I hadn't had sex at 17. So it's possible that Max has not had sex, but even on the flip side, Max could have had sex. Like, I mean, look at even with the things that these kids do on social media, right? Like, look at social media. Like, so many parents don't know what their kids are actually doing, right? Look at TikTok. Look at the craze of these, people, like when they take the hand sanitizer and all that kind of these challenges they do. So your daughter might know a lot more than what you think she knows, Heather. I'm just saying, right? So then we see all the ladies as they make it down to Cabo, right? So we find out that Heather did extend the invite to Noella, right? Now I did forget to mention to you guys that when Jen, Nicole, and not Gina, but Emily were out shopping for the bathing suits, right? Nicole made it a point to say that if Noella's coming on the trip, she's not coming. Okay, no one gives a fuck, right? You don't hold an orange, so we don't really give a fuck about you coming or not coming at this point, right? So, like I said, Heather has invited Noella on the trip. So all the ladies, they flew out on a private jet, right? And Noella was the only one that didn't make it with them. She had something that she had to do, so she will be joining them later, right? So they go to the villa. The villa is very nice, right? Nice villa. They get their rooms. I wonder if it's a thing with just the Black Housewives, because I noticed with the White Housewives, they don't do what the Black Housewives do, like the Black Housewives or on Married to Medicine. Because you guys know that they always have a situation with the rooms every season on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Potomac, and Married to Medicine. But when it comes to the white girls, they just pick whatever room they want. So I just wonder if it's a thing with the black girls, because they always have an issue with the room situation. Always. Then we see Heather. So Heather is sitting down with Gina and with Emily, and she's just showing them, the sketch designs of the house that she wants to build in Cabo, right? Now, actually, she would prefer it if she could just find a house and just, outright buy it. It is what it is. I have an issue with Heather, and it's not even really with, yes, it is. Heather is pretentious as hell. That's one thing that annoys me about Heather, is that she's very pretentious. But then the other thing that's annoying me this so far is Gina and Emily. It feels like Gina and Emily are up Heather's ass at this point. And we're going to discuss that in just a few minutes, right? So we're going to move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, we see Gina, Shannon, and Emily. So Gina, Shannon, and Emily, they all go horseback riding. So Emily has done horseback riding before, Shannon has, but Gina has never done horseback riding, right? So they sit down and they have a conversation, right? And they're talking about Noella. Shannon is, kind of feeling, she's kind of worried about what kind of a reception Noella will receive from Heather once she makes it to Cabo, right? What I want to say? Well, what I do want to say is Noella's a big girl and Noella can handle herself. Like, she's not someone that's just going to kowtow to Heather Dubrow. So I don't think you necessarily have to worry about what, how Noella is going to be received by Heather. I don't think you have to worry about that. But what's going to happen is, I guess they're going to try to play mediator, right? Gina's whole thing was, she was thinking that with her coming down, that maybe, Noella and Heather could kind of come together and, make amends. I don't necessarily see that happening, right? So then we see Jen and we see Heather. They're talking, and they're talking about their family lives, right? Even in this scene with Jen, she was still boring. Even in this scene, I still was very much so bored by Jen. But we're going to sum up what Jen was talking about. So Jen is talking about her home and work life, right? She wants to do family. She does family dinners with her family, but she doesn't come home until about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Man, by that point, I would have been done 8 and said, fuck you and this family dinner. I'm just keeping it real with you. So she's talking about the fact that she and Ryan, they need to sit down and they need to, because at this point, they don't really see what the other does for the family. That means y'all have a big, huge disconnect. If you guys watch the trailer for the rest of the season, there's a disconnect between Ryan and between Jen. Don't really care. Like I said, she's very boring. I don't know who's more boring, Jen or Elizabeth from last season. Because Elizabeth was boring, but at least with Elizabeth, she had a storyline. We're 7 episodes in and I still don't know what Jen's storyline is. Do you guys know what Jen's storyline is? Because I still don't know what her storyline is. But I will say that I'm happy that we have Jen instead of Nicole. I would prefer it. So then we see the ladies. So they're going to dinner, right? So not Nicole, but Noelle at this point, she still hasn't made it to Cabo. But she does eventually make it. She has some issues with her passport. So she goes to the house, she gets a drink, she goes and meets the ladies, and then they were getting ready to do a shot of tequila, right? She didn't want to do a hot tequila shot. She wanted them to chill it for her. I was like, okay, I guess. It wasn't a big deal. But you can see Heather's face, and Heather's looking very annoyed. And I'm thinking to myself, Heather, what the fuck they gotta do with you? If that girl wants a tequila, a tequila shot on a rock, let her do her. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with you. Like, that has nothing to do with you, right? So then, Emily is telling Noella that she had a conversation. Well, actually, no, Noella brought it up. So, I guess, like I said earlier in the review about Nicole, shit stir. So she went back and told Emily that Noella had said some things about she and about Gina. The things that she said about Gina was that Travis was a loser and that he was broke. I forgot what Emily said. It was something about I forgot what it was, but it wasn't that deep. My thing is with Nicole, why are you doing this shit? Worry about your makeup. So I think now here's where I got kind of confused in the episode. So they were, I guess Noella ordered some food and she didn't want to eat it. So then Gina and Emily took her to the side to tell her that it looked a little rude to the hostess. They're at a restaurant. If they're at a restaurant, production is paying for this. So it's not like Heather came out of her pockets for the food. So why does she give a fuck about what Heather's thinking? That's why I say I feel like Gina and Emily are kissing Heather's ass. Fuck Heather. If I'm at dinner and I order something and they bring it to me and I say, oh, I don't want that. I changed my mind. I don't want to eat that. That's my prerogative. If I don't want to eat it, I don't fucking want to eat it. And especially if you're not paying for it, don't fucking worry about it. Like, if you're not paying for it, it ain't got shit to do with you. The fuck? Like, that did annoy me. That annoyed me. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to my channel. And until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed. Also, you guys, be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on and share the video. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.